SA-3. Is anyone there?
The frozen sky originally came to me, my wife and I were on our honeymoon in Germany and Austria. One of the places that we went to was Der Eisriesenwelt, which translates to the Great Ice World. There's this massive subterranean series of catacombs and tunnels that was slowly eroded out of the mountain by, you know, eons of snow and ice and the melt. We were lucky. We ended up, it was just me, my wife, and one guide. Right as we got there, like this huge group of teenagers came out, you know, and they were all laughing and screaming, and then we went in, it was just the three of us, and it was silent, and it was dark. And at one point, our guide stopped, and we turned off our lanterns, and you could just hear these empty miles of just blackness, just sort of quietly echoing all around you. And you know, we turned on our lanterns back on, and there's just like these endless sheets. There's like these lakes of ice, and anyway, it was just phenomenally cool. And I thought, I need to write a story about this. And you know, and of course, there has to be some sort of, you know, something scary. And at the same time, the Cassini probe was, you know, gearing up, and has now, it's been a couple years now since it went through the Jupiter system. One of the fascinating things about the Jupiter system is the sixth moon, which is Europa, which is roughly the same size of our moon, but it's essentially a rocky terrestrial planet, except that it's encased in ice. We still don't know a whole lot about it. We certainly don't know what's underneath that ice. They believe that the ice is anywhere from 10 to 20 kilometers thick in places, and that underneath that there's an ocean that surrounds the terrestrial core. So for my story, I envision it's about 80 years in the future. We're just beginning to colonize the solar system. You know, you got the ESA, the Brazilians, the Chinese, you know, NASA. We're all out there in a bit of a competition for resources and claiming places. And Europa would make an excellent fuel depot if you had fusion ships. You can process freshwater ice for the deuterium. I think it's less than like 0.1% of freshwater ice is deuterium, but you can use that to make a deuterium fusion reactor, which you could use to then power your spaceships. So they're landing automated robots there on Europa to mine the ice and process the deuterium and then shoot it up into orbit where it's collected by an automated tanker. One of these samplers guys is pulling up, you know, samples from 3 kilometers deep to see how clean the ice is in this area, and he pulls up bugs. Little tiny dead frozen bugs, but not any bigger than your fingernail and your pinky. But it's life. They're life forms. They're like, oh my God. And so, you know, all the alarms go off on Earth, and everyone's like, oh my God, there's something down there in the ice. And they send an international team of explorers. And of course, the freaky blind amphibians start ripping people's faces off, and there's landslides and cave-ins.